Hi, this is an introduction to TiddlyWiki, a personal wiki. I was first looking into TiddlyWiki because I was trying to find a alternate solution to Google Notes. I was wanting to take my notes off the cloud and put it into something that I can encrypt and make more secure. And that's how I stumbled over TiddlyWiki. And one of the first things that I noticed right off the bat was that it had all the options that I would need uh, to replace what I was used to working with in Google Notes. And then when I downloaded TiddlyWiki and started using it, I realized that the options that I was looking at that I thought it had didn't have. And then I realized that there were some things that I needed to do to prepare it to start using it. And then I realized I didn't know much about a wiki to begin with or how to even maintain one. So I thought I would look on the internet and try to find a nice tutorial. And I couldn't find one that gave me a nice foundation of how to use TiddlyWiki. And so I decided to make one myself. And this is an update to my earlier version. And I had made that earlier tutorial after just a few days of using it. Now that I've got a couple of weeks of using it under my belt, I'd like to point out some things that I had missed during the first presentation. And so this tutorial will take you through all of the steps of transforming a brand new TiddlyWiki installation into a nice note-taking platform that you can encrypt and place on the cloud. And I'll be showing you all of those steps. So hopefully this will be a nice help to you if this is the first time that you've messed with TiddlyWiki. It really is an amazing piece of software. One of the first things that I'd like to show you is that when you log on to TiddlyWiki.com, you will download, in order to start using TiddlyWiki, you'll download what's called an empty. And what this is just a single file that makes up TiddlyWiki. Now I have to show you this because it's pretty interesting. So I've just downloaded this file and I go to my documents. You'll notice that there's this empty.html. You know anything about HTML, you might look at that and think, well, I just messed up what I downloaded. I downloaded a web page. I didn't actually download the program. You have downloaded the program. TiddlyWiki is nothing but a glorified web page, but it has all of the bells and whistles that you would find in any professional note-taking program and a lot more. It's amazing what's packed in here. In fact, I'll just show you what the code looks like. It's pretty amazing. All TiddlyWiki is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS markup. That's all it is. Isn't that amazing? And it's all saved to one file. So there isn't any database to speak of either. There's not a host of files. When you're saving your notes and importing images and everything that you're doing with TiddlyWiki is updating this one file. So when you're going to back up this file and secure it on the internet, you're only backing up this one file. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Notebook. The reason why I'm doing that is I'll explain in the last tutorial when I encrypt this and place it into Dropbox. And it's a pretty nifty feature. I use what's called InkFS to automatically encrypt this on the fly and store it on Dropbox. So, I don't have to worry about someone breaking into my Dropbox, Dropbox being hacked, losing information, and it being on some server somewhere in a foreign country. This is a really nice alternative if you want to start being responsible about the data that you have on the cloud. This is a great way This is a great step forward with that. But in any case, to start using TiddlyWiki, all you have to do is open up this HTML file. And I would suggest that you open it up with Firefox. The reason is that Jeremy, the creator of TiddlyWiki, actually created a plugin to Firefox called TiddlyFox. See, TiddlyWiki has, because it has that single file that it stores all the data in, it has some technology in there where it tries to be smart about when it's saving that data. And you can force the saves of the data, but it also will do some automatic saving. And TiddlyFox is a plugin through Mozilla that allows you to go ahead and allows TiddlyWiki to communicate through Firefox and save that data to that file automatically. So it's just a really nice feature, and I just really encourage you to use it. Do this, and there's also some features that I've noticed that work in Firefox and don't necessarily work, for instance, like cross-browser, like in Safari. Like, for instance, if I'm working in Firefox here, I can't. I do have issues of installing plugins, and we're going to get into that too. And we'll be installing a plugin called TiddlyMap, which is a mind map program that is pretty phenomenal too on its own right. So this is the new file that we've. It's the empty.html, and that it doesn't have to be called empty.html. You can actually name it anything that you'd like. Like I said, everything is in the same single file, and you can rename this file and name it anything you like my wiki. Now it's my wiki, and I need to go ahead and open up this new file in Firefox. So there it is. So here's the, it's in the downloads, notebook directory, mywiki.html. This is the one that I'm going to be working with. When I first looked into TiddlyWiki, I was wondering where the name Tiddly came from. I didn't realize it until I looked up in dictionary.com that Tiddly is, is a British slang for drunk or tipsy. So I'd be curious to ask Jeremy how that fits into all of this. I'd like to, I'd like a little bit of history on that. But in any case, as you're creating new notes, they're affectionately called Tiddlers, and so take that as you will. Okay, so let's start using TiddlyWiki. The first thing that I'm going to do, we see when we first log into TiddlyWiki, we first bring it up, is that it's asking us for the names. We can rename our wiki, and again, I could just call it my wiki, and the name shows up here. I can give it a subtitle if I want. I usually just remove that. And that mainly, I think the subtitle and the name, that's for the thing that is pretty amazing about this is that you can actually build these TiddlyWikis because they're HTML files. You can serve them on the web. How nice is that? So just there's so many things you can do here. But in any case, this is a local file on my local hard drive that I'm going to be working with today. And the next thing is the default tiddlers. I can choose what notes that I want to wake up at the very beginning when I first start my TiddlyWiki. And as you can see, the first note was getting started. And so I'm just going to remove this from the default tiddlers to be opened because I don't need to see this again when I restart things. And then I've made changes here, so I'm going to go ahead and click the Save button. There are save buttons in two different places. I'm going to go ahead and create my first Tiddler. I'm going to, in my first note here, I'm going to go ahead and create it. I create it by clicking on this plus sign. And I'm going to call this contents. And I've just created my first one. And you notice this checkbox here. I can click that to save this tiddler, or I can click this. I'm going to go ahead and click this. And what that does is not only does it save it, but it closes it. If I had this open and I was working inside of it, I could click this. It saves it, but it doesn't close it. So, and also, if I'm making changes, let's say that I click on the little control panel here, right here, and I'm making changes here, I'll be using this one over here because this window doesn't have that option to save. And that's kind of something else to keep in mind. There are really several different types of tiddlers that you can create. There's several different formats. You can create tiddlers that are just images. You can create tiddlers that have specific markup, like JavaScript, JSON. I think the JavaScript is more for like plugins and if you're going to extend the functionality of TIddlyWiki. And then the format itself. TIddlyWiki has its own markup language, and we'll also be getting that into detail in further tutorials. So my first tutorial was a nice 30-minute tutorial, and unfortunately, to go over everything that I'd like to tell you, it takes more than 30 minutes. And so I'm going to break this up into 5 or 6 different tutorials, and hopefully shorter tutorials and tutorials that will go into more in depth in some of the fundamental things that you need to know about TIddlyWiki before you start using it. So I'm here. I've created my first tiddler, and I saved it, and it created it. And if I go over here now to these tabs, I'll show you, what these are here. You have a Recents tab, which gives you a date and all of the recent tiddlers that you created. That's really nice. You have Tools. What this is, I can't scroll up here because I'm zoomed in, but it gives you a list of tools that you can add to the toolbar up here. Like, for instance, I like to add Close All. And what that does is that when you click on that, it's going to close all the tiddlers that you have up. Another one that I like to do and I like to add is Journal. I have to zoom out, and then there it is. Well, it was right there in front of us. There, right there. I like to add that one too. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save over here. And there it is. Here I have a Journal tab where I can create journal entries, and I can close all tiddlers. I'm going to open that one up. And any open tiddlers are shown in this tab. But, looking at these tabs, these are great, but coming over from Google Notes, I'm kind of used to having a nice little area over here where I can kind of keep my notes in some kind of logical order and subcategorized, so that I can drill down through the categories and find specific notes that might be months old that I haven't opened up in a while. True, it has this great search option, which the only item that I have in there right now is contents, but of course that brings up the contents tab right away. It's a live search feature, very cool. Close that. I'm back here. So that's great, but I'm still used to that nice contents tab where I can see a breakdown of all of my notes. So that's the first thing that we're going to do today, is create a new tab called Contents, where we'll be able to categorize and keep our notes sorted for further use. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this tutorial now. This has been a nice introduction to TIddlyWiki, to the installation, and to the use of TIddlyWiki. And so on the next tutorial, we're going to get into creating tabs and creating, and more specifically, a contents tab.